Hello, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be looking at the new Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha 3 Nash, also known as Charlie Nash. I always just call him Charlie. This is the latest release in the Storm Arena Street Fighter line. And this is also only, I think, the second figure in the line to not just be mostly reuse of reuse. So I'm excited to take a look at this guy and see what Storm is able to do with this character design versus just the regular Shoto-gi look. But first we're going to look at the box, and as far as the box goes, this is just the regular Storm Arena packaging. We can see it's got a pretty good sized window, and you can see the figure and some of his accessories inside. We have this artwork on the front of Charlie here. His little hair thing kind of comes up and blocks the face, so I don't know if that's great for being able to display the package, but the package is very square. It'd be easy to store, easy to keep over time. If you like to hold on to your packages, keep them in storage. I do sometimes. Here we see Street Fighter. There's Charlie again, Nash, Nash, Nash. Then on the back we have some pictures of the figure in various poses. We can see kind of a crouching punch, uppercut, all this kind of stuff. Then here, we've got some artwork in the top right corner of Charlie there. So, another thing to note about the box, this box, compared to other Storm Arena boxes, is pretty huge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get out another Storm Arena box that I have. Here we have Dan in his box. So you can see that Charlie's box kind of dwarfs Dan's here, but we'll take a look at Dan another time. But now that we've looked at the box, I'll go ahead and break Charlie out and we can look at what all he comes with and then look at Charlie. All right, so we have Charlie out of the box in his tray right here. The first thing I want to look at before we look at any of the accessories is this little background piece. This comes behind the figure in the box. So I just thought I would note this. We have, I guess this would be the background of Charlie's stage from Alpha. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to go look at the game again, but that's a nice little inclusion in case you want to stick the figure in front of that. All right, now, looking at what the figure comes with. Here we've got Charlie here, and I'll try to do this without making everything fall out like I did a couple minutes ago. So here we have the figure. As we can see, we have 4 total pairs of hands, 2 that come on the package, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. We can see his alternate head up here and his glasses, and then some little shoulder caps, and I'll show you how those work later. And we also have his effect part and a base. So I think as far as accessories go, Charlie definitely has the most in the line. So we'll start by looking at his alternate head here. So this is Charlie's, I guess, kind of battle-ready face. We can see the gritted teeth there. Look pretty nice. The eyes are painted well. We kind of have like a black outline of the eyes there. Sorry, I got some dirt on his face. Hair is well sculpted, as we can see. We can see a little bit of shading on the face there. Some blushing that looks nice. Everything is well sculpted and well painted. Next up, we also have some kind of, okay. This is his hand that he'll use to hold his glasses. The sculpting is a bit soft on this. You can vaguely see the little wrinkles in his fingers and his fingernails. They didn't go too great into detail with that. Here, oh no. Here we can see we have Charlie's glasses. And these look pretty well done. We'll go ahead and take his head, stick them on and see how they look. I'll take his angry head here. That tucked away there. And Wow, I think that looks really nice there. Everything, it fits pretty snugly, I'll say, and it looks good. The plastic that they used for the actual glass part is thin and transparent enough that you can see his eyes behind it. I feel like a lot of figures, when they come with glasses, I guess the quality of the plastic, I don't know, usually doesn't allow for you to be able to see like the details of the eyes behind the glasses. So I think this is really nice. I like this a whole lot. Not sure if I will have Charlie wearing his glasses or not. Maybe I'll have him holding them because I just like the accessory a whole lot. Next up, if I can get it out, we have a little, I don't even know what kind of gesture this is. It's almost like a peace sign, but not. I think some of the artwork on the box has him throwing this little sign here. I'm not sure, but you can see the fingernails are a bit more prominent on these hands here, and so that's nice. Just a style pose hand, and we've got another style pose hand. We can see detailing is consistent with everything else. One thing I do like about these hands a whole lot is they are a nice soft plastic that can allow for just some easy change out. Also, we have these shoulder caps. They're not much to look at on their own, so we won't look at them on their own. So here we have Charlie's base. I'm not really sure how I feel about the Storm Arena bases. I feel like they're just very obvious, but something I do like is that they have this little ratcheting here so you can change the elevation. So that is nice, I suppose, and it's nice and sturdy. To hold the figure to the base, that comes with this little black metal clamp piece, and so you would pinch it together and then stick it through there, and that'll hold the figure however you want it to hold him. Not sure I love that, and really I thought that these were supposed to actually come with two of these little clamp pieces, a black one and a clear one. Mine did not come with the clear one, it only came with this black one. I don't know, maybe it's a cost saving thing, but that's all that mine came with. And as I mentioned, the size of the package is so large to accommodate this effect part here, which would be the effect for Charlie's somersault kick. I would say it's pretty well put together. We have two pieces here that close around his leg. We have some green here, then clear, and then more translucent green, transparent, not sure. And so we'll take a look at that in some photos to see how that looks. But yeah, comes two pieces, and you just close that around his leg. So now that we have gotten the accessories out of the way, we'll go ahead and take a look at Charlie himself. Okay, and here we have Charlie out of the box here, and overall I would say this is probably my favorite looking Storm Arena figure. I think just because he has the most going on. You know, he's not just mostly white or mostly red in a gi like Ryu and Ken. This guy is a unique sculpt, and he has more colors, some orange and some green that look well together, look good, look well, you know. And I would just say he has the most opportunity to fit some detailing in as far as the paint goes, because he's just got more going on with his outfit. So I'm excited to go ahead and take a look at him up close, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and get some height and scaling for him, figure out. So let's get the tape measure out, putting it next to Charlie. Charlie stands right at a little under 6.5 inches. So far we don't have any Storm Arena guiles right now, so we're gonna have to make do with the Jada guile here, as well as the Soda Toys guile. So as you can see, I would say that the Jada works better with Charlie here, not only in terms of scale, he matches his height a lot better, but also just in terms of styling. You know, Charlie here is a much more modern figure than something like the Soda Guile, which has got a lot more kind of sculpted detail and just old school action figure making methods, hand sculpted, all of that. And then also just kind of the more cartoony aesthetic works better with the Jada Guile. So I would say scaling is good with those. Next, I want to take a look at Charlie next to his rival, I guess you could call him his rival, M. Bison. Here we have the Jada, and once again, here we have the Soda M. Bison. And judging by, I guess, the way the hat is, the Jada M. Bison is probably shorter, which I don't necessarily like. I like a big M. Bison. So I would probably prefer the scaling of the Soda, or I do prefer the scaling, but the styles don't really match up as well, again. But, you know, that is just personal preference. I think Charlie's going to work with any Jada figure you put him with. And I also think he'll work well with a Marvel Legend. Here we have the Gamerverse Captain America. Cap is a bit taller, which I think makes sense. And I would say they fit pretty well together. Yeah, I think you could stick Mr. Charlie in with the rest of your maybe Jada figures and your Marvel Legends if you wanted to have Charlie for a Marvel versus Capcom or Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter or whatever, because Charlie is kind of more prominent in those games than Guile is. I've just been using Guile up to this point. And last, here we have DC Universe Classics, The Question. And these scale surprisingly well together. I mean, the proportions are a lot different, but I would say, like, height-wise, these actually fit pretty well. So I like that. I'll never put Charlie next to any other DC Universe Classics, but we have that. All right, now let's go ahead and pull in here, and we're going to take a look at Charlie up close. So on Charlie here, I've got his basic head sculpt from the package, and it looks nice. Kind of all the same things I said about the alternate head. We got some nice shading there. The eyes are well painted. Sorry about that. Hair is well sculpted. It all looks really nice. Moving down, we have his puffy vest here, and I do like that. You can see a lot of the wrinkling in there. That looks really nice. Sorry about the focusing. We can see that the buttons here are well painted. We actually have two different paints for the buttons. We have the black and we have the silver, which is nice. We have dog tags here. I expressed how I feel about dog tags with my Guile review for the Soda Guile, but it's necessary that he has them, so that's all right. And we can see there is some subtle shading, very subtle, on the vest. Hard to notice. Looking at the arms, one thing I like, the musculature looks really nice. Again, shading on the arms, something that Storm Arena does on their figures. I like that they have all three heads of the deltoid visible there. And then the arms look pretty nice as well. Well defined, more defined than like the arms of a Jada Street Fighter. Down here we have Charlie's watch, which is a separate piece, I believe, yeah. So it'll go wherever you want it to. It's well enough detailed. Got some black and blue, and we got his little button on there too. So that all works. Underneath the vest, we probably won't take a look in the video, but we can see the musculature is all there. He's got his little nipples there, and that looks good. His waist kind of tapers nicely. He's kind of got more of a thick core, which I think works all right with this look. You know, he's not gonna have like any clothing closed around him to make him look boxy or anything. So I think that works, and it's nice to go ahead and give the characters different builds. Here we can see we have some painted detail on his belt buckle some gold, and then his belt loops are all painted, of course. No extra detail like on the Soto guile, for example, as far as like stitching and all of that. But it still looks nice. We've got shading on the pants. We got some wrinkling. We have these big pockets puffing out to the side. Those pockets have got to be full of something because they are coming out very far. And then looking down at the boots, we can just see some sculpted detail. We got the black laces that look really nice, and some treads that I like a whole lot. So I would say overall, the look of this guy, he's probably my favorite, as I said, favorite looking figure from the Storm Arena releases. But now let's see if he is as good a poser as his fellow Storm Arena fellows. Let's see if he poses as good as the other ones. So the head is on a double ball peg, as well as the neck is on a neck joint as well. So he can move his head around nicely. He can look down. As far as tilt goes, I'd say it's fairly nice. He gets a swivel too. But as far as looking up, yeah, he can look up pretty well, as well as he'll probably need to. That's him looking straight forward. And looking down, we're gonna have to, looking down, maybe not so much. But the head should do everything that you probably need it to do. Here, the sleeves are actually a separate piece, and I showed you the shoulder caps earlier. That's what you change out when if you want to take his vest off. And these have some play to them. They can go, okay. They can go really far forward, which is nice. Going back, not as much. They don't really go back much. And there is some up and down in there too, which is nice. And something that's nice about Charlie's design is that having a butterfly joint on the figure is not going to break up the sculpt, because the sculpt of his chest is covered up by his vest. So that is really nice. We get our rotation. This is my first time like posing this guy at all. The rotation works well enough. It might be hard to fiddle with the cap for his vest and his shoulder here because they are separate pieces. So, but that works fine. Here we've got his arm can go up to about 90, maybe a little bit higher there. We got our bicep swivel. We have some double jointed elbows that get all the way, and those look nice enough. Kind of have like these like hard-edged like rims, which is not the best look. And we have some, I guess these are ball hinges for the wrist, and you can rotate them around and do whatever you need to do. As I mentioned, the hands are nice and rubbery, so they pop on and off no problem. Charlie here continues the trend of the rubbery chest, which allows him to be able to get that forward motion really nicely. And then we have our diaphragm joint. Let's go ahead and see how far that comes forward. So on the top joint, he doesn't come that far forward. He's hunched a little bit. And then going back is a bit better. Again, I don't know what it is that allows modern action figures to go all the way back and then not far forward at all, but that has become a trend. And then we get our side to side, which is okay. Now combining it with the bottom joint, that's not too great. It'll probably do though. And then we get really far back. He can look up as much as you want him to. And then not really any side to side either. And I do think, hold on. He didn't really get much side to side motion because he has this joint here, which is effectively just a crunch. He has a little bit of room for the ball to move around on there, but if they would just kind of open this up and give more room for the ball to move around, then he would be able to get more side to side. But he does not. So he does not have that room. He just has this little hinge that is kind of hidden away. And just trying to make sure it wasn't tearing in there. But okay, there we go. One thing I noticed as I was posing him around, his belt, maybe, well, it's not going to do it now that I'm trying to show you, but his belt and his pants were kind of getting tucked under his back when I would move him, but it's not doing it now. I don't know, maybe I fixed it. We get our rotation there. Here we have some nice ball hips, go all the way out to the side. Could probably cut some of this diaper piece away, honestly, but he gets all the range you need. I just don't like the idea of stretching out the diaper. That's just a personal thing. But going forward, he has drop down hips, but trying it out without the drop downs, he already gets 90, which is nice. When you bring the hips down, he will go up higher. So that works like it's supposed to. Whether or not you like drop down hips is kind of up to you. Next, we have a thigh swivel. Something that I've noticed from jumping from Ryu and Ken to this guy, and something I'm kind of noticing on more figures that they're starting to work on, like Akuma, is they're kind of, let's see, they're not making the, I guess, upper part of the thigh flush with the hip here. I don't know why. It's definitely an intentional choice, but like with Ryu and Ken, it was flush and it looked better, it looked less obvious, and now they're not making it flush, and it's kind of sticking out a little bit in here, if you can tell, see what I mean. Again, it doesn't like ruin his look or anything, but it's something to note. I wish they would stop doing that. It's gonna start looking like SH Figure Arts, where the like upper part of the thighs are way out here. So don't want that. Here we have some double jointed knees. Those look about as good as they can with these baggy pants, honestly. Gets a lot of range, so that works well. By the way, all the joints are very smooth right out of the package. These figures definitely have a premium feel, but down here we've got some rotation. I think that's at the, yeah, there's rotation at the shin, not the boot. And then I think the boot also rotates on its own, maybe a little bit. So that's nice. Here we can point the foot that far forward, that far back, and then we get our pivot here, which works nicely, I would say. We can get it going out a little bit too. And then last we have, ooh, this is the only joint on here that was, there we go. We have our toe hinge, and it doesn't go back terribly far, but that should be good enough, honestly. So I'd say as far as posing goes, he'll do everything that you need him to do. He feels smooth, but also, I guess, sturdy. He doesn't feel loose or floppy. So that's nice. Definitely has a premium import feel to him, which is pretty incredible for the price point. So I guess I got this guy at Big Bag Toy Store. After shipping, it came out to about $40. I would say that it's worth it. This is definitely, the Stormarina line is some of the best stuff that's coming out right now. So thank you for watching. I hope that this helped in some kind of way. I hope that I gave maybe a perspective that somebody else did not give. And I appreciate you watching. If there's anything I can do better, leave some feedback. And that is all.